So, in your opinion, do you feel that the portrayal of the TV dad has a hope in the future? Will they ever get it back to the episodes of like a Bill Cosby type thing, or do you think that's pretty much gone and we're just going to move on with this new thing that they're doing now?
Well, I think there are seasons in Hollywood, and I think they go through different transitions based on the audience, based on what's popular in pop culture. You know, I know when Kobe Bryant passed away, it was really popular for a lot of the guys to hashtag, girl dad, things like that. I think, seeing him represent fatherhood with his daughters, I think that gave a lot of men some pride. Those that do have children and in particular girls, and who spend time with them, I think that gave them a sense of pride. I think we would see a shift if we see more of that. And it's going to have to, obviously, if it's going to come from, if we're going to look at entertainment, it's got to come from entertainment. So therefore, you would need more entertainers. I believe Kirk Franklin and a few others had a show, or they were at least, maybe it was like a one-time show, but they were talking about being dads, being fathers. So I think, Hollywood is just going to have to put out more of that. And in order for us to see more of a positive light. Society, has always kind of taken a cue from what Hollywood is doing, and whether it's to mock it or whether it's to imitate it. So I think if we want to see more positive shows about dads, then we're going to need to see more of those that are higher in power, putting out those shows, or either more of the celebrities and the entertainers promoting those type of images on their Instagram, because nowadays people aren't necessarily watching TV; they're watching their phones.
Right.
We're going to need to see more dads standing up and doing that to make it seem cool, to be a dad. I think we need to see more of that, and that's going to have to come from either the influencers or the entertainers, and those that that have an audience.
Awesome.
It makes me think of a recent movie that does fit the bill on that, Amy, is The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
That was just
right. That always hits me in the heart pretty good. But that's been a few years since it, and there hasn't been a lot since then, right?
Yeah. I think it would be great to have more like that. I mean, there was one thing that I did pick up with the Coming to America 2, even though I know everybody in the Twitterverse had an opinion and everything. The thing that did stand out to me was that the movie was like PG-13 when the original was like R. So I was like, okay, well, this is definitely 2021 Eddie Murphy compared to 1980-something Eddie Murphy. But the thing that I picked up in my viewership of it was how it kind of highlighted the son-father relationship, the father-daughter relationship, and how he parented kind of came up in a couple of segments of the show, which I thought was kind of different. And then the fact that I found his daughter actually played a part in it, I said, that's probably why he cleaned a lot of it up. Because now, you get your daughter sitting right here front and center with the camera with you. And it's like, oh, yeah, I used to be that raw Eddie Murphy, but we're going to change this up. And it kind of had a more family kind of, people said it. They were saying, pretty much they felt that they made this for the kids. But I think that, like you guys said, that role of having a caring, loving father, responsible father is missing, and it would be great to see it come back. I, too, enjoyed Pursuit of Happiness. You get moved to tears when he's sitting on the bathroom floor holding his son, like crying, trying to imagine we're in this nice jungle, but we're actually in a public bathroom just trying to sleep. That was a pretty solid film that Will did there. Kudos to Will for that one. I wanted to point out something else, too, because we talked about the music for a minute. And I noticed there's been lots of studies on misogynistic lyrics or violence against women in the musical content. However, you don't see many studies on, as I quoted some of those lyricists, on fatherlessness. And I'm wondering, do you guys see a correlation there that not having a father can somehow make them more violent towards women or violent towards the opposite sex in general? And why is that kind of falling on deaf ears? Like a lot of times, like I say, it's like, hey, he did this video with these girls. It was bad. But it's like, why is he like that? Like, what went on in his life to get his head to that place? But what were your thoughts on that? Or had anybody considered or studied anything on that?
I'll say something again. As far as fathers, on TV and the lack thereof. It makes me think about when you talk about the misogynistic lyrics and what is portrayed in entertainment. And then when you think about father and fatherlessness, that's not being portrayed at all. So the powers that be, they must not want us to think about fatherlessness, because maybe fatherlessness is you become at the doorstep of making a change. And that's just my idea on that a little bit.
I mean, I definitely think there's an impact, obviously, like I said, with not having the fathers. I also feel like they don't have a role model. So if they don't have a father to show them what it is like to be a man, how to treat women, how to respect women, then they're just going to go off of what either they are shown from someone else who also probably didn't have a father in their life, or something that they've seen on a film or on television. So I feel like, that plays a part. Also, I feel like though too, and I've been saying this for quite a while, that when you see little boys being raised, they're taught, oh, you're so cute, you're so handsome, you're going to be a player. All the girls are going to love you, right? So to me, that's detrimental, because, when you're telling this 3 or 4-year-old who's probably just as cute as a button that all the ladies are going to love him, you're already letting him know, oh, I should have all these women love me, not just, oh, one day you'll grow up and you'll get a wife. But no, you're saying all the girls are going to love you. You're going to be a ladies' man, right? So those are the things that we're saying. And then we're wondering why we have these misogynistic lyrics. But we've kind of started with this young generation and this society of young boys, letting them feel like that's what makes them who they are, right? They walk around feeling very prideful and full of pride because, hey, I've got all the women who like me and who want to be with me, or who think I'm all of that, right? So, I think that we're going to have to start with the younger generation, those that are, that are younger. We're going to have to start kind of watching what we say, what we are, putting into our kids, what we want to see from them. So if you want to see, let them know, hey, wow, you're going to make a great dad someday to, to one woman. Because when you have a dad who has children by multiple women, that you've got the whole structure of the family that's already broken up. You have these kids that are siblings that are coming from different homes and aren't really, they're not getting a chance to really even get to know their own siblings, because one may be going to this mother's home, one may be going to that mother's home. And it really does affect the kids, So then we do have this society where no one has shown them what it's supposed to, what normal or what a loving family is supposed to look like, a structure of having everyone together, in that unit. And that's why we have the lyrics that we have, and some of the even with the young ladies, why they're doing some of the things that they're doing in these videos and things like that, because again, the lack of a male role model to let them know that's not how a lady should be treated.
All right.
Exactly. And as you were talking, I was thinking that a father helps you to find your value, and I have 8 brothers, 7 that are living. And so, my father, he ruled with a very, iron fist, so to speak. But his example of being that father and caring for all of us was a good role model for my brothers in that sense. So you do have to teach children to find value. And I think a good father brings that to the table, and you find value in the role of the mother and that respect that comes with that. And the father can really teach that to the children by the way he treats the mother. And I think that's very important. And it's missing. It is missing in our society.
Oh yeah, I agree. I remember my first time, my wife asked me, like, where did you learn how to do these things? When I would try to get flowers or do romantic stuff. And I was like, I learned it from my dad. Dad put me on. Like when I was younger, like, oh, you get her a bear, you get her this, you do this, and I remember I was a little older, a friend of mine. We joke about it sometimes, even to this day. We were riding to school one day because we used to have to get a ride to the MARTA station to go to our school we went to. And my dad decided to have the talk. like while me and one of my homeboys were riding in the in the car, and we're riding, and he's like, now, young men, I want to tell you something about women. Women, this, that, and the third. And he's just like looking at me, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm shrinking in my seat like, I can't believe this dude is really talking to me about women right now, and my homeboy. And I took it for granted. But years later, that friend was like, Micah, that conversation your dad had, my dad never talked to me about nothing like that. He said, that was like one of the realest talks, that we had. And I knew the talk soon as he said it. I remember the talk. And when you were saying, how your dad ruled the iron fist, I think that the presence of a father does help in a disciplinarian kind of way. Because, we love mom, but mom's like, look, I ain't playing. And it's like, oh, you're so cute. You mad. But when dad says, hey, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, it's time to stop. And I remember hearing footsteps when he would come up and say, everybody go to bed. And when you hear doom, doom, it's like if you weren't asleep, you pretending. Like you were diving into bed and you weren't doing anything. So I do believe that it's something that's missing today with a lot of our young men. I believe that's why they mistreat some of the young women. I saw a video that broke my heart. This girl did a prank with her boyfriend and was just saying she wanted to break up with him. No reason, just like, oh, this relationship's dead. I'm tired of it. I want to break up with you. And he just starts swinging on the girl. And I don't think she intended for the prank to go that far. Like, he swung and she was crying. I'm like, it's a joke, it's a prank. He's like, don't play with me like that, bro. Don't play with me like that, bro. And I just can't imagine growing up calling your girl bruh. Like putting her like one of the homies, like, what up, G? What up, gangster? No, that's your lady, you know what I mean? So times have definitely changed.